the man really does have a green thumb. And today, he's going to talk about retaining members, tips and tricks to help you keep your members engaged. Keeping membership and cultivating membership is just like gardening. Please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Sylvain Auffret.
As mentioned Ron earlier, Jim, Sue's message, and as you are all a testament, does Toastmaster have a lot to offer to everyone? Could we be a whole lot more in here? Donc, la question devient comment est-ce qu'on encourage les gens qui viennent nous visiter de rester? There'll be workshops throughout the day that will tell you tricks and tips on how to bring people to the club. But this workshop will help you, whether it's a guest or a member, how to retain them. Does that sound good? Yep. Good. So, first thing is, members, at the district or at the club level, members leave. It's a fact of life. Every action that we have at the club or at the district level has an impact on the members that we interact with, and will have an impact or an effect on whether they choose to stay with us or go, this is not for me anymore. But members will leave on their own, even if you've got the bestest of club. I like to make up words. There's no grammarian today, no report anyways. But even if you have the best club in the world, members will leave once they've attained what they believe that they needed. And that's okay. We serve them and they're moving on. But this workshop is to help you keep those that, well, they didn't get all they needed yet, but they're going, Some of you may have been there, some of you may be there, and I hope not. So why do members leave? Excellent question. Well, as I said, it's part of the cycle of a club. Members will leave, it just happens. But a lot of members will leave because they don't feel useful, they don't feel needed, they don't feel appreciated. Does that strike a chord? A lot of members will leave because they don't feel needed, appreciated, or wanted or useful. So, why do they stay? This is supposed to be an optimistic one, so it's going to get a little more upbeat now. Why do they stay? Any takers? Except Fred?
Because they feel needed.
Fine. That's one.
Because they feel needed, wanted, and appreciated.
Someone went on my website. Because that's true, but they stay because they made friends. Brigitte spoke about it at the conference, whether you're going to do an area director, club officer, whatnot. The relationships you make with your fellow members, the friendships and the bonds that you make is what makes you stay. And that's a lovely quote by Mr. Craig Sr. behind the camera right there. Yay! 22 years he's been putting up with me. But they stay because you made friends. So, how do we make friends? So why do they stay? Continue. Whoa. Too much coffee. Toastmasters is not a social club. Well, Sylvain, I'm confused. You just said you want to make friends, but you're saying it's not a social club. It isn't. We're here to work a program. There's the pathway, whether you're the legacy or the new program, that is the program that we work. Regrettably, if that's all you did and your mission focus was speech, I don't care about it, just be speech. You think they're going to stay? No. So we are social creatures, and that is what we need to cultivate. That is what we need to take care of. So yes, we're here to work the program, because there's the flip of it. If all I am is taking care of my friends and having fun and socializing, or not doing speeches, this is not Toastmasters anymore. It's awesome. We're cultivating relationships, and I encourage you to do that. But at the meeting, you're there to work the program. Does that make sense? We have help here. Oh, man, get away from the screen. So what do they say also? How do we do that? Keep our strong members club. We need to build strong relationships. I already mentioned that. And that starts with the first impression. And I'll take it one step further from what I'm about to say. It also is part of when they're in your club. So, you know, I'm clicking too fast on that one. It's sensitive, Tony. Okay, so, why do they stay? First time you have a guest coming through the door. I'm going to put a really generic statement of what I'm about to say, but I think you can find a happy medium between what I have. We have the guests who come through the doors. I don't think they saw me. Should I go in? You've seen those members? And then you've got the other ones. I'll let you guess which one I have. Ah, so is this Toastmasters? Where do I sign? You've seen those? There's a few of those, and there's people in between. So, for the sake of this example, if I'm the hi, can I come in? And you have, hi, guys, just come in to the door. How long do you think that member's going to stay? Probably not. That makes sense? He's probably going to go, the first chance he leaves, let go of my hand, he'll win the Olympics. So, how do we avoid that? And the reverse would be also true. So, is the person coming through the door an introvert or an extrovert? I don't know. So, I gave you two examples. You can figure out which one's which. The big question then becomes, how do I make sure that I serve that member that came through the door properly? So you've got this excited bundle of energy who's got, do you think I need to tone it down a bit? So what's another trick that we can do? Any ideas? This is the part where you're interactive, you can talk back to them. You can just shake their hands, yes. So if you're a really excited person and you have trouble toning it down, what could you do?
Get somebody else to do it.
Outstanding. Could you say that louder?
Have someone else do it.
Have someone else do it. So, yes, you are, most of you here joining here because you want to get officer training, and some of you are here just to find out what the heck is this all about. And awesome for you. Who's here just to find out what this is all about? There's one here. There's a few of you. Don't be shy. That's awesome. I love you guys. You're the future leaders too. You're all leaders. Because it doesn't matter whether you have a title at the club or not. You have a direct impact on your club's environment. Every single one of you. When you're going to go to your workshops, they're going to say, the Sergeant at Arms is responsible to greet all guests. Well, the poor guy or gal is busy setting up the room. How can I do that? So who could do that? Or you can have some clubs have a role called the greeter. But ultimately, even if 4 people come in at the same time, you have one greeter, he can't or she can't split that person in 4. So every one of you are greeters. Every one of you are responsible to meet that person at the door. Not all at the same time. Because if I have the hi, and you got 10 people showing at that person, same effect, even though if you're all calm. Although the person who's really excited will just love it. Oh, great, they all love me. So you could do that too. But you need to know who it is. So, once you start speaking to that person, what do you talk about? Hi, costs $170 to join my club. Fine. That's the right thing you do? No. What would you do if you just met a guest? Say again? Introduce yourself. So we've introduced, hi, I'm Sylvain. Rebecca, nice to meet you. Then what should I say?
Is this your first time?
Is this your first time?
How did you hear about us?
How'd you hear about us?
Do you know what we do?
Do you know what we do? And then we got all through that small talk. But why are they there?
How can I help?
How can I help you? So once we're done, and this is not just good for Toastmasters, this is good for everything. If you meet someone new, there's an acronym that I'm about to present to you. And it's FORM. Family, occupation, recreation, and money if applicable. In this case, money will be your dues. You don't have to use these in order. But if you ask the person, so what brought you here? I'm going to be giving a toast at my daughter's wedding. I need to be better speaker at work. Oh, so we got the work. What do you do? Right? So You can bring all of those things into account depending on the question that they'll lead you with, so you don't have to use them. Don't go, I'm not there yet. I want to go back to family. I'm not done with your occupation. You'll do that later. That's point 2. No, you can mix them up. But if you hit those 4 markers, you have enough meat in there to get information about them, to understand what their needs are, why are they there. Now, I said this is also for members within the club. Often, we're so busy trying to get new members in that we forget our existing members. If you don't really know the members within your club, ask those questions. How's your cat? I heard he was sick. How's your dog? You enjoy walks in the rain? Oh, it was a bit rough last night in the rain, dog. I don't care what it is, but get to know your people. There's an old saying that used to say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Donc, c'est vraiment important de connaître les gens dans votre groupe. In the military, Chris will tell you one of the saying we have is, know your troops and promote their welfare. Same idea. Si vous connaissez les gens dans votre club, si vous connaissez leurs besoins, si vous savez les défis qu'ils ont, wow, he or she cares about me, they'll stay. Think about it for a second. Someone asks you to do something, whether it's at work or Toastmaster. You could do it at work because of a title. Boss told me I have no choice. But if you like that person, title or no title, are you more likely to do it?
Yep.
Thank you. Si vous n'aimez pas la personne, it's your boss, you're going to do it. But if you like that person, are you going to do the extra mile? Okay. Anyone want to know? I think you guys need more coffee on the way out. So family, occupation, recreation, those are good questions to lead a person. They find out more about them, but particularly in the case of a guest. And by the time you get the money, they'll either lead you with, how much does it cost to join here? Or you can tell them, and all of this for a low price of, that breaks down to about a cup of coffee or 2 cups of coffee per week. One silly question, not part of my presentation, but I see it often in clubs. Do all of you know exactly how much it costs to join your club? Many of you do, but I bet you many of you don't. So, and that's fine. You know what? It's perfectly natural. If I go back that it takes a club, it takes all its members to lead, remember that we'll say, oh, it's the DP membership who's responsible to sign in the person, or it's the treasurer responsible to take the check. We hear that. Well, he's busy with one person. Stay in line. It'll take half an hour, but we'll get to you. Does that make sense? No. If you all know how to fill up the form, start at least with the club executive, at a minimum. But I would encourage you to teach all your members. The guest packages are there. The price list is there. If we have a guest, this is where the info is. Et j'en ai ça un point plus loin. Si vous avez matché la personne, matché. I'm bilingual. If you paired the guest with a person who's not a club executive, who's the best person to close the sale? The person they were sitting with. Right? Does that make sense? So do that. And just to go back into that whole form when the guest comes in, I would encourage you to leverage the club officers. Even though they're busy, hi, I'd like to present you our club president. This is Rebecca. She's our president. Rebecca is like, hi, nice to meet you. And I'm going to sit and I'll explain your program. But now she's getting to know, oh, there's people in charge of this thing. This is wonderful. Whether it's Rebecca who's sitting with the guests because she's a good match for that person, whether it's Paul because he's more quiet and reserved, it's like, give it to Sylvain, give it to Tony, and Paul will give someone else because Paul's going to go, this track's going to drive me nuts, and I would. Paul's not going to say it, he's going to go, oh, that's very wonderful. Is he going to tone down for a minute? Inside voice, right? But if you're the only one, suck it up, take one for the team, and adapt your personality to that person. Does that make sense? So, family, occupation, recreation, money. How much does it cost to join this lovely club? So, next thing we have, the good ground, matching members with a correct member. We already went through this. I skipped ahead of myself. So, mentoring. There's a whole program on mentoring within Toastmasters. There's a whole program of mentoring within the district. I don't want to go too far into that, but it also goes back to knowing your members. Si vous connaissez vos membres, vous savez avec qui faire un jumelage pour être capable d'adresser leurs besoins. So find the right mentor for that person. And typically the person will go, you know what, I would really like to be with Brigitte because she's excited like me. She bounces all over. But she's learned how to tone it down. So I need to learn that from Brigitte. And Frank is really like, parliamentary procedures. So I'll go see Frank to learn all of this stuff. And if I want to know about the program, I'll go see Scott. Scott knows everything about the program. He's like a god, so I'll go see Scott. So go see your people that will meet your needs. It could be one person. It could be a kitchen cabinet. It doesn't matter. But unless you know, oh yeah, it's a kitchen cabinet. You open the cabinet, what do I want today? I need to be a better speaker, so I grab this person. I need a better parliamentarian, grab this person, right? Today I don't feel like this. So you find the people you want. But Toastmasters has a good program on that, and that can only be addressed. Bottom line, whether it's a Toastmaster program, a district program, the club program that you have on your own, if you know your members' need. If you don't know your members' need, how can you respond to it? That make sense? And the big important question, is a mentor available? Who could be a mentor?
Anyone.
Anyone. Even the new member. He may not be able to help you with the program because he doesn't know that yet. But a lot of people are joining our clubs with a lot of strengths that they brought from outside, that they're more proficient in certain things that we are within the club. So any one of you can be a mentor if you're willing. If you're willing. And again, know your members' need. Don't throw a poor person who's not ready, willing to be a mentor into the frying pan before they're willing to do it. Because then you'll also lose a mentor. So it's matching the right people to the right people. Formal or informal, it doesn't matter. Anybody know what I mean by informal? Someone's not been assigned to you, but you feel comfortable enough to go see person X, Y, or Z to help you along. Good enough? Super. That's my favorite one. That's my favorite slide. Plants need talking to. Who is our first worst enemy today? Email, text, chat, Snapchat, God knows what, something or other that requires fingers versus audible sounds coming from your vocal cords to communicate, emulate stuff. Personal contact is even better, but email is an awesome tool, don't get me wrong. Les courriels sont super pour envoyer l'ordre du jour de la semaine prochaine. Ça pourrait être long d'appeler tous les membres un par un pour leur dire la séquence. So, email are awesome to pass information, bulk stuff. Like right now, what do you need to do with your club? All the officers that they mentioned, Sue, you got an email yesterday from Tanya. We need to vote on something. So email was awesome. I'm not getting the results I need. What's the next best thing you could do? Grab the darn thing, call a telephone. Whether it's a landline, who knows what a landline is? Whether it's the one with a little rope tied to the wall, or it's the one in your back pocket, use the thing that uses your voice to talk back. And you know what? When I first did this presentation years ago, video conferencing wasn't a very popular thing. So yes, you could use your computer if your computer if you want, but if you put the video aspect on, you're still chatting, you're still conversing, because there's a whole bunch of nuances you're not getting in the email. Email is a one-way, and often misinterpreted. You're putting in all caps because you're excited. Why is he yelling at me? It happens all the time. But you'll feel the excitement in the person's voice. you have an opportunity to ask about their cat and how wet they got last night, or how their tomatoes are not growing when they're not doing good this year. So use the telephone when you can. PostToasties. Is that a term any one of you guys? Who doesn't know what that term is? A new word for you to bring back to your clubs. A little harder for new clubs, but I encourage you to find a way of doing it. PostToasties, I think Harry might have invented that one years ago, or someone, anyways. PostToasties is a coin word to say, this is when we meet after the meeting. This is where you get a chance to socialize, not at the club, because really, going back for a second, at the club, how much time do you really get to speak to the people? 10 minutes, you're lucky. Really, let's go through a typical scenario, especially for clubs that are working on a condensed agenda because they have an hour to get in and out. Hi, how you doing? Okay, you're still here. Tony's here. Hi, Tony. Yes, speaking order. Yeah. Oh, you didn't give me your intro. Can I get your intro? Okay, because that never happens, right? Oh, darn. Where's my tabletop? He's not here. Could you do tabletop? Okay, so the team's going to be... And anybody have those meetings? Is it just me? No?
Once. It happened once.
So if that happens, and you're running around trying to coordinate all this stuff, if you're in a club of 20, there's probably only 5 people running around spinning their heads, and the other 12 can go, ooh, this is nice. Look at that. But if you're in a club with 8, 9 members, all of you are spinning like hell to be ready for the guests. So how much of how's your cat doing are you doing? So how much do you know of your members? Does that strike a string somewhere? So the only person probably contacting these people is the VP Ed. So, are you going to give a CC this year or a pathway 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
Good. I didn't hear a why. Oh, that's exciting. Why? I don't hear it. Okay, good. Check. Hopefully I'm exaggerating and it's not like that, but I suspect in some clubs. So, important questions that I just mentioned. But add to it, oh, that's great. Any particular reason? What are you more focused on? The title at the end is fine, or becoming more proficient. That's fine. Either way is fine. But if you know which one it is, you can guide that member accordingly. Where's Kevin Chapman? Kevin's back there somewhere. He's back there. Second place champion in our district. If you see him, go congratulate him. Have a standing ovation. It was awesome. When I first met Kevin about, 15 some odd years ago, I was his mentor. And Kevin, if you met a man more determined than him, good luck. He was in 4 clubs, I think, at the time. He was speaking every single day, well, not every single day, but at every single club, he was giving a speech, a new speech. It was like, bang, bang, bang. He was there. I want to become better. I am determined to become better. How's that working for you, Kevin? Because it's a lot of work when you're putting a new speech together every week. 4 speeches a week. Wow. Is that dedication? But are you really improving? You're getting some stuff. So Kevin said, no, I don't care about these titles. I just want to be better. Well, that's awesome. Here's a suggestion for you. How about in your 4 clubs, and you can still do this if you're only 1 club, by the way, give the speech the first time as a practice run, grab the evaluation, the feedback, bring it back, tweak it, give it again, then give it for credit. Whether you do it 2 times, 3 times, anyone who's competed in a speech contest, go see them. They will tell you the amount of effort they put in their first speech contest, they probably grew more than the first 10 speeches they needed to do their CC or pathway or whatever the case may be. The redoing of a speech is, and that's why I love about pathways now, they're making you redo a speech. Everyone who's done it, have you learned from that effort?
Yep.
Absolutely. So if I had not known Kevin's need at the time, he would have just bashed through. He probably would have had a DTM by the end of the month. But would he have become better? Yes, but we have been the best he could have been. So the membership in the club and all that, through the feedback, helped Kevin and all his clubs become a better speaker because he practiced. But to do that, I need to know what his or her needs are. Ça tu du bon sens? Super. So, PostToasties, if you can do it, not everyone regrettably will do it. If you got a club of 20 members, which is the minimum we need, you'll probably get a dozen to 8 people showing. But that's okay. Those 8 people showing up together will bring an energy to your club you cannot put a price on. They now know each other. So when they say, "Hi, how you doing?" Because now I know about her cat and her cactus and the show that she likes, Star Trek. "Oh yes, did you see last week's episode? What are they going to do? They went to the other Delta Quadrant. I don't know." I'm a Trekkie. Did you see the new Avenger? Who saw the new Avengers? Oh, not a lot of. I'm done. Who saw the Raptors? You're still recuperating by the amount of energy I'm seeing here. Okay. When you go to the PostToasties, it's a chance to socialize. I mentioned it. It's a chance to talk about that presentation. And sometimes you hear some really awesome topics. It's a chance to know more about that topic. But bottom line, it's a good opportunity to get to know each other. Some clubs are about to say, "June 30th, I'm done. I'm closing the doors. I'll see you back in September." It's okay. Not really. But it's okay. It's your decision. It's your club. I would encourage you, if you are one of those clubs who do that, to find a reason to get together with your members and have a barbecue, go for a picnic. I don't care, something to do together. Le Club Le Parolier is an awesome example of that. They close every summer. Nope, we're done for the summer. They don't really close. They meet twice for big social things. And they all together. They have awesome PostToasties. They have a group cohesion that you would not believe. And I'm sure there's many other clubs like that that are like that. That is that cohesion you want to meet. So if you decide to close for the summer, for whatever reason, and that's okay, it's your club, it's your group, it's your decision. But I would encourage you to find a way to meet together as a group. So, I just have a last one I want to talk about, pruning. Pruning is the leaders. Many of you have been holding the club reins for many years, being the leader. That's good. If that person disappears, how's the club going to do? Probably not so good. So, we need to learn to let go. We need to learn to mentor others to do it. Let's say, "Go little Padawan, I got you. I'll hold you." Or the dad holding tomorrow's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Hold the bicycle in the back. You just go. And sometimes you're not even holding the bike. "Come on, you have me, hey, Dad?" "Oh, yeah. Everyone holding it. Like, but you got to let him go. And leadership is all about that. Is knowing when to let go. So that they too can learn to fly from their own wings. Does that make sense? So, it's also an opportunity for you to learn how to mentor, to coach, to delegate. That was a hard one for me. "Oh, I could do it all." How fun is that? It's awesome. How's that working for you? So like, "No, it's not working. It's gray hair. It took me a while to learn that one." So, lots of good stuff that I gave to you. My time is almost up. If you want to know, well, okay, it's over there. Yep, well, I'm done actually. So now with that, words of wisdom, hopefully it was wisdom for you. The presentation is available on my website. Feel free to use it for your own use, but use these tools to help you.
What is your website?
I'm about to say that. No. It's ChezSylvain.com. ChezSylvain.com. The link that you did to register to come here for the TLI, when you pressed and did all your, this is what I'm going to choose, just reverse engineer, go back to the root of it, and you're going to go to my website, go under Toastmaster Resources, and the link is in there. And it's right there. So I'm done. Enjoy your day.